So today, all of us are so I'm being rather frank with you. Should I call it pure vision? I wish to tell this story. 1 year when I was in Varanasi in a gathering of interreligious faith, people from different faith traditions. And I had this experience where my vision just faded, and then I was absorbed in I was in this absorption on Buddha, and Buddha was calling me, and I went to him, and then he was being very kind to me, and I didn't have any offering to make to offer to the Buddha except a piece of chocolate, and so Buddha was being very kind to me, and so I offered this. So I had this vision, very clear, lucid vision. It's not a dream, but I had this pure vision of the Buddha. So as a follower of the Buddha who has pursued the study of his teaching, the scriptures, and also practiced the bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, and have quite a degree of experience of them. Therefore, the Buddha was very pleased with me and was being very kind to me. So it wasn't a dream, but it was a very clear, lucid vision that I had. And then I had this confidence and I felt that I've been looked after and taken under the wings of the Buddha himself, under the refuge of the Buddha. And so, as a monk, follower of the Buddha, who has pursued the study of the Buddha's teaching, which comprise of scripture and realization. And so having done the practice of the teaching and studied them and practiced them and have some experience, so therefore I had this very clear and lucid vision of the Buddha. And so all the Buddhist countries in the world, people have come from different Buddhist countries around the world, and I, being someone who follows the teaching of the Buddha and give teaching to others, share from my experience the teaching of the Buddha, comprising the scriptures and realization. And so, though it has been over 2,600 years since the Buddha came, but the teaching of the Buddha can be felt alive even today. So I have made contribution to served the Buddha Dharma sincerely so far, and so this kind of clear, pure vision that I had, and I also have the clear vision in a dream that I would live to be 110 years or so. So I'm 88 years old now, and I will do my best, serve the Buddha Dharma to the best of my ability for the rest of my life, which means I may live to be 15 or 20 years or so. So regarding the teaching of the Buddha, the teaching must become your experience. It must be grown within yourself. It is not in the temples or shrines. So first, you have to keep the precepts of morality and then pursue the study of the Buddha, thus teaching, the Shasana, and then practice it so that you become practical with regard to the teaching of the Buddha, and that will really serve to please the Buddha. So I am someone who was born in the borderlands of Tibet, and then since my childhood I have pursued the study of the Buddha Dharma. And so I have studied the three Tripitaka, the three collections, the Shasana of the Buddha, and the practice the three trainings of morality, concentration, and wisdom. And I also will make prayers, and you should also do the same. So with regard to the teaching of the Buddha, it doesn't have to do merely with faith, but you need to use your mind, your intellect, and be able to distinguish between what is right and wrong, and reduce or decrease the wrong practices. And then what is the important thing is, as it is said, all phenomena are empty of essence, and this essential nature of the phenomena will bring about liberation. And so things do not exist independently, apart from being dependent on others. So this nature of emptiness, if you ponder on it and contemplate it and have some experience of it, then what appears, that is to say, that things appear to have some kind of objective intrinsic existence, you'll be able to confirm from your experience that this is not true, that things do not exist the way they appear to us. And so in this way, you'll understand the teaching to be scientific as well, in accord with science. So my main practice is this altruistic awakening mind of bodhicitta. And when I see others like birds and animals and so forth, I feel, as it is said in this prayer, that in the prayer for the taking Bodhisattva vows, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, and in order to fulfill the aim of myself and others, I shall develop the spirit of enlightenment, and so forth. So I feel the content of these lines strongly within myself. And then with regard to the ontological status of things, though things appear as if they have some independent existence, they do not exist that way. They are merely designated, merely in name. And so this helps to reduce one's the negative, destructive emotions. So when you are relaxed, when you have a relaxed state of mind through these experiences of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, then physically also you feel healthy. And so pursuing the teaching of the Buddha through the process of study, drawing the steady reflection and meditation. So I do that, and then as the prayer says, where the Buddha Dharma had spread but declined, and then where the Buddha Dharma had not spread before, where people are taking interest in it. So, and then there are people in the traditional Buddhist countries who are taking interest in studying the teaching. So I have been doing my best to contribute and to serve to the Buddha Dharma, to serve the Buddha Dharma so far. And so you should also, so with regard to bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, of course, as a beginner, a total beginner in these principles and paths, you might feel a little bit intrigued by them. But then if you familiarize yourself with these principles, after a few years, when you look back, you'll feel, oh, the thing that I thought I would not be able to experience some years ago, now it's happening within myself. And so, to my Dharma friends, all of you, you should make bodhicitta and the practice of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness to the best of your ability. So please practice these two principles as best as you can. So I wish to say this to you. So regarding the teaching of the Buddha, which is to say the bodhicitta and the fact that things have no intrinsic essence. So even non-believers will benefit from these two teachings, especially when they understand that things do not have any objective independent existence. There is no essence whatever, and this understanding will help to reduce the sense of solidity, clinging to some kind of a solidity in things. And so, followers of the other traditions, the religious traditions who believe in a theistic God as a creator, also have the practice of good heart. So maybe the theistic religious followers may also be able to see that things do not have any essence. So as human beings, if you, right from your beginning, from your childhood, if you are able to live with a good heart, a warm heart, it will be really beneficial throughout your life for yourself as well as others. And so the 7 to 8 billion people on this earth, we are all same in that we were nurtured. We are born from our mother and we were nurtured by mother's milk and affection. And therefore, to the best of your ability, if you can keep this experience of warm-heartedness and not be angry with others or bully others, but from the core of your heart, be compassionate and loving towards them. So the 7 to 8 billion human beings on this earth, whether believers, whether you have believed in a religion or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But this warm heart, the affectionate heart that you have received from your mother, if you can maintain this and pay attention to keep this experience, so even animals have that kind of experience of affection, love from their mother. Whereas modern education is focused more on external development and progress, and then therefore people forget the love and affection and compassion they have received from their mother, that they learned from their mother. But if you have love and compassion, you will have peace of mind, and it will help your physical health as well. So in the school system, school curriculum, if we can actually make some influence to teach about these principles of love and compassion, which we have received right from the beginning of our life from our mother. So if people could pay attention to these principles, it would be very good. So without forgetting, as you go up in the ladder of education, learning, so if you have a good heart, warm heart, if you're warm-hearted, then you will have more friends. People will like you, admire you, and so you will be somebody who will be admired by others as well. So please keep this in mind, to have good heart. It is very important. And then with regard to the view of emptiness, it is a unique, teaching that is found particularly in the teaching of the Buddha. And even the modern scientists are paying attention to this teaching today. So from the point of view of psychology, the workings and systems of our mind and emotions, so from that perspective, we understand that things do not have any essential independent existence, but they are designated. So whether you are a believer in a religion or not, in your day-to-day life, if you can be compassionate and loving to others, and also understand that things have no independent objective existence, it will be helpful. Even to the non-believers, these are the essential teachings of the Buddha. So, personally, my main practice is twofold: bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, and it definitely has its benefit to me. And so, to my Dharma brothers and sisters also, I wish to say that you should have good heart and also understand that things do not exist the way they appear to you, which is to say that they appear as if they have some objective, essential existence. And so when you understand, when you have these experiences, then it really has benefit to keep a peaceful state of mind. So we'll continue from where we left yesterday. The third chapter was finished yesterday. Now, I'm reading from another translation. Now, by way of showing how the perfection of diligence surpasses the perfections of generosity and discipline and tolerance, the fourth resolve is explained. Good qualities come in the wake of diligence, what brings one stores of merit and wisdom. As this is where the diligence is burning strong, this ground, the fourth among them is the radiant. So the first three grounds were taught before. So we have already read. So now we are on the fourth ground, the radiant. If one has no enthusiasm for various ways, one will not apply oneself in all manners to generosity, and so forth, thus making it impossible for all the good qualities to arise. With a formally established keenness for accumulating good qualities, what has been gained will increase, and what has not been gained becomes achievable. Thus, diligence is the cause of each and every good quality. So it is very important for us to put effort in whatever we do. That is the cause of the two accumulations of that were already explained above. Being the ground where diligence blazes forth, as it refines all one's good qualities, this fourth Bodhisattva ground is therefore named radiant. If you ask further into why it is called radiant, the purpose for using this name is now explained. There now appears for the Sugata heirs a light more bright than copper, born from the cultivation of the 37 factors of enlightenment. When I was reciting the Madhyamaka Avatara, Lung Rinpoche used to laugh at me, and he had a bold and shiny head. His head appeared like a radiant copper plate. And so since he didn't wear a hat, and Tujang Rinpoche also used to make fun of that. On this ground, there appears for the Bodhisattvas a on this ground, there appears for the Bodhisattva a glow exceeding the luster of copper previously explained, and this comes from their practice of the 37 factors of awakening. Thus, since the fire of genuine wisdom blazes brightly, this Bodhisattva ground is named radiant. The 37 factors of awakening are the 4 applications of mindfulness, the 4 correct abandonments, the 4 miraculous legs, the 5 faculties, the 5 powers, the 7 limbs of awakening, and the 8-fold noble path. The 4 applications of mindfulness are taught at length. O victor heirs, the Bodhisattva, dwelling on the Bodhisattva ground radiant, is assiduous, attentively and mindfully remaining with the observation of the inner body, abandoning craving and discomfort relating to the world. He is assiduous, attentively and mindfully remaining with the observation of the outer body, abandoning craving and discomfort relating to the world, and remaining with the observation of the inner and outer body, and so forth as before. Likewise, he is assiduous, attentively and mindfully remaining with, and so forth, inner sensations, outer sensations, inner and outer sensations, and as before, with inner thinking, outer thinking, and inner and outer thinking, remaining with inner dharma, outer dharmas, and inner and outer dharmas. Concerning the 4 correct abandonments, it is taught, he sets himself a goal, strives his religion, is diligent, focuses his mind and directs it properly in order not to give rise to negative non-virtuous dharmas that have not yet arisen. Likewise, he, in order to rid himself of negative non-virtuous dharmas that have arisen. Likewise, he, and so forth, in order to give rise to virtuous dharma that have not yet arisen. Likewise, he sets himself a goal, strives in order to stabilize, keep from diminishing, increasing, ensure the future arising in complete perfection of virtuous dharmas that have arisen. Concerning the 4 miraculous legs, it is taught, he cultivates the miraculous legs of the concentration of interest, combined with the impulse of abandonment, through relying on isolation, relying on freedom from attachment, relying on extinction, and developing renunciation. Likewise, the miraculous lack of concentration of diligence combined with the impulse of abandonment, the miraculous lack of intention combined with the impulse of abandonment, the miraculous lack of investigation combined with the impulse of abandonment. Concerning the 5 faculties, it is taught, he cultivates the faculty of faith relying on isolation, the faculty of diligence, the faculty of mindfulness, the faculty of concentration, the faculty of intelligence, relying on isolation, relying on freedom from attachment, and so forth, as before. The 5 powers are exactly as same as those when the disharmonious elements have been overcome. Concerning the 7 limbs of awakening, it is taught he cultivates the limbs of true awakening, that is mindfulness, relying on isolation, the limb of true awakening, that is investigation of dharmas, the limb of true awakening, that is diligence, the limb of true awakening, that is joy, the limb of true awakening, that is pliancy, the limb of true awakening, that is concentration, the limb of true awakening, that is equanimity, relying on isolation, and so forth as before. Concerning the Eightfold Noble Path, it is taught he cultivates correct view, relying on isolation, relying on freedom from attachment, relying on extinction, and developing renunciation. He cultivates correct thought, correct speech, correct action, correct livelihood, correct exertion, correct mindfulness, correct concentration, correct, and rely on isolation, and so forth as before. Not only do they on this ground gain a cultivation of the factors of awakening, and any sense of self is now entirely gone. This root text. On this ground, their view is of self is also removed, as stated. O Victor heirs, the Bodhisattva's dwelling on the Bodhisattva ground radiant is free from all things related to the identity view. He is freed from all sense of stimulation, conceptualization, analysis, sense of permanence, sense of ownership, sense of wealth, and sense of abiding, arising through attachment to a self, sentient beings, life, maintenance, a person, an individual, aggregates, elements, and sense fields. This concludes the 4th resolve of mind generation from the commentary on entering into the middle way. So perhaps I should stop here. So as I said before, so we call the time that we are in now as a degenerate age, but for us it is a fortunate eon. So therefore, as we do now, we should be warm-hearted, even though you are non-believers. And then if you're following religious faith, you should practice what is taught in these teachings. The good heart is taught everywhere in all the teachings. So we should be warm-hearted. So in the past also it has happened, and today also there is always some kind of a rift due in the name of religion, conflicts happening. So of course there are other reasons, but when you fight and have conflict, create conflicts in the name of religion, that is unfortunate, very sad. Regarding myself, I visit Christian church, mosques, and so forth. So all religions have the same message of being kind to others and have a good heart towards others. So it is very important to follow this. So just because there are differences in philosophical ideas, if you try to cause division amongst ourselves, it's not good. So I wish to do a bodhicitta at the end here. So for that, we have what is called the yoga mind, the universal, all-encompassing yoga mind, so which is found in the tantric rituals and initiation rites. So I do go through this cultivation of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness. So as I said before, have a good heart. If you have a good heart, you'll be happy, you'll have a relaxed state of mind, peaceful mind, and you'll have more friends, and you'll be able to help others. A great deal of many people, a great many people you will be able to help. So if you even if you wish to be selfish, the best means to be selfish is to fulfill one's own goal is to have a good heart. If you remain selfish, only thinking of yourself, and if you have an evil heart, then you will not be happy at all. And so consider all sentient beings, particularly human beings, to be your friends and near and dear ones. And so, if you can do that, even birds and animals, they also appreciate your behavior, warm-heartedness. When I was in Austria or somewhere, I visited a park. So people, the birds were not afraid of people. They come to people. If you hold some grains in your hand, they come, land on your hand and eat the grains from your hand. So they really appreciate your warm heart. So if you are compassionate and loving towards others, even birds and animals admire that. So if you wish others to be nice to you or believe you, giving gifts, material gifts and so forth, will not necessarily achieve that goal. But with good heart, you will be able to achieve such goal. So all of us, we have obtained this human life. In this world, we have several billion people. We all need to live interdependently. And therefore, if we can help one another and be kind to one another, that is the source of our happiness. So with world peace, if you have love and affection towards one another, peace in the world will come. And that will also help to reduce, to achieve a world without war and weapons. So with a good heart, peace will come. It will not come through resolutions that you make in meetings. But if we could be compassionate, loving towards others, and have no sense of grudge or malicious thoughts towards others, it will definitely help. So the 7 to 8 billion people who were nurtured by our mother, if that experience of affection, love and compassion continues, if we can maintain that, there will be peace in the world. So, if with regard to the people you know, your friends and near and dear ones, if you can keep this warm-heartedness, and if you can actually share this and tell them that it is the importance of love and compassion, I mean, it is very important to do so. So if you have love and compassion within yourself, then you will also remain smiley, cheerful. But instead, if you are arrogant and if you are jealous about others, then there's always some discomfort within yourself, unease. So if you want peace in the world, we should create peace within our mind. Through that, we can bring about world peace. So we have obtained a human life now and also met with the teaching of the Buddha. Whether you are a believer in the teaching of the Buddha or not, doesn't matter. So what is taught in the teaching, the good heart, is the fundamental factor for our good life. So we began our life with the mother's love and affection, and if we could be surrounded by people who love us, loving and affectionate towards us, when we die, then we could say we have lived a meaningful life. And so if you live a life in love and affection, compassion, warm heart, then you will have lived a meaningful life. Even animals and birds appreciate that. So make the determination that you will live the rest of your life with love and affection. Have altruism and compassion within yourself for the rest of your life, that you will live your life, the remaining part of your life, with love and compassion. So the essence of your life is to have a good heart, and if you can have that, you'll be friendly with others. You'll live a life in friendship with others. And so whether you believe in a future life or not, if you can live a good life now, it'll definitely help in the future. So without having the thought to harm others, malicious thoughts, or covetousness, and so forth, have a good heart towards all beings, and so make this pledge that you will keep such a good heart, and meditate on this. So this Bodhisattva, which thinks of benefiting others, imagine that it now transforms into a moon disk at your heart, sitting at your heart. And then now examine yourself. Where are you? Who are you? If you try to search yourself from head to toe, you will not find anything that you can point your finger at. Of course, you exist, but when you are not able to find it, when you search for your identity, what that shows is that though things you exist, you don't exist independently. You exist by way of designation. So even the birds are like that. And so animals also. So if you think through, you'll not be able to find yourself within this body or the mind. But there is a person who wishes to serve others, who wishes to be altruistic towards others. But what happens to us is that this I appears as if you have a notion of a self, which is solid, somewhere within the body and mind. But there is no such self, such a self. So you should have the determination, have the understanding that there does not exist a solid self as it appears to your mind, a self which is like a master of your body and mind. There is no such a self. Have this determination and meditate on it. The lack of that, such a solid, independent self. So, this altruistic mind of bodhicitta, which you have imagined transforming into a moon disk at your heart, and now this insight into the no self, imagine it transforming into a white, five-spoked vajra standing on the moon disk. So visualize the moon and the vajra at your heart, the white vajra standing on the moon disk at your heart. So I make these two principles of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness my daily practice, my main practice daily. So not only human beings, but there are other sentient beings such as deities, gods, spirits, and so forth. Everyone is same in not wanting suffering but wanting happiness. So because of our selfish attitude, self-cherishing attitude, we cause harm to others. And so the so-called spirits like Gyalpo and Zen and so forth, so it is very important for us to have a good heart towards all sentient beings. So we have human beings whom we can see here, and then there are invisible beings also around. So they also become unhappy due to their self-cherishing attitude. And because of this holding on to some kind of a solidity of a self, they also become unhappy. And so have this compassionate heart of bodhicitta towards all sentient beings, and also the view of emptiness, and meditate on these two principles for a while. So where is the self? Where are you? It is very clear you cannot pinpoint at anything being yourself, but you do exist. But because you cannot pinpoint yourself within the body and the mind, that makes it clear that the self or you are merely designated. So this strong conviction that that you do not exist, that I do not exist the way it appears, I appear to my mind as there is kind of a solid, independent existence. This insight into selflessness is transformed into the white five-spoked vajra standing on your bodhicitta mind. So I'm not just repeating what is taught in the text, but I meditate on these two principles so much on a daily basis, and I feel how they help to reduce my mental afflictions. So if you, my Dharma friends, could also meditate on these two principles, you will see the effect, the same effect within yourself. So the bodhicitta which has transformed into the conventional bodhicitta, which has transformed into a moon disk, on which stands the white vajra, which symbolizes the insight into emptiness. So think that you do not exist independently, but merely you are merely designated. Apart from designation, you do not exist. And meditate on emptiness, transforming that insight into the vajra and on your moon disk. So I, because of my practice of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, I do not feel arrogant, I do not feel jealous towards others, and all these different negative emotions do not intensely arise in me. So, my Dharma friends, please do your best to meditate on these two principles of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness to the best of your ability on a daily basis. That's all for today.
Question.
We'll have a question and answer session.
His Holiness, good morning. My question is how can we reconcile the view of emptiness and appearance of tragedy and conflicts?
So if you are doing analysis regularly, then you will have lots of questions. So, answer to anger is the bodhicitta, and then this the view of solidity in things and self. To counter that, you have to meditate on emptiness. So these two types of meditation, the focusing, single-pointed concentration and the analytical meditation are very important. So, of course, just focusing your mind single-pointedly, like doing shamatha meditation, will not be that effective and powerful to counter the self-cherishing attitude. Whereas when you do analytical meditation, when you do critical analysis of things, you'll be able to find the use or effectiveness of cherishing others over oneself, so that you can counter self-cherishing attitude, and then also counter this clinging to some kind of solidity in things and self through the meditation on the critical analysis of self. So without doing an analysis, your mental afflictions, to reduce the strength or the force of these mental afflictions will be difficult, whereas analytical meditation will help in reducing them. All these great masters, whom we called the 6 ornaments and 2 supreme masters, most of their writings have to do with analytical meditation. So, since the 8th century, we, the Tibetans, have put great effort in translating these great treatises of, so under the direction of, and the Master Chandrakirti, who took great initiative in translating the Buddha Dharma into Tibetan language. So please, you should also make effort in doing critical analysis. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, and the sun and the moon. I imagined it as a Buddha field and offer it to you. Through this offering, may all sentient beings, wandering beings, enjoy the pure Buddha field.
Om Vasarati, to the assembly of the most kind teachers, both present and past, the miraculous dance of the body, speech, and mind of innumerable Buddhas manifesting in accord with aspirant spiritual capacities, the wish-granting jewel, the source of all virtues and goodness. To you we offer our prayers with fervent devotion, that Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snow, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of all meditational deities, manifesting as countless mandalas and divinities, the magical clouds of immaculate transcendental wisdom,
This is
the long-life prayer of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, written by Chandrakirti Chökyi Lodrö Rinpoche.
Döneng ösan gege zönben dönrona çage yege nize doje damjen doje dabo de sojo jimbo şabden zo çanjo lamye rimbe ngodo ge sawasum yeme jembale kenda zeve yönde same çanjo doan yeba şabden zo çeze zum Sado minga shin bobe deshin gebo yoso ru sozo Zode ma chole namge jembo shabde zo losak Dembo rembo je shiru lege golo zonge ge gonge duk Langbo lebo ge jiri mawe shabde Nozon yuzu zanga lamge je wangshin nisho zamon roshin 过去一切我所念者为教导多些说，我不跟给你罗查要解，造成你所没别人也，一些你们这些没在往年说往说真不晓得，有的叫做上网跟给人民者靠把那些给上，给上对接这上这这。 少往这边到我下边，或者这个点着热巴下下样对那个没热些，这把跟着什么我们浪对个落叶往不下的，现在现在也没对过落来把对那这点变嘛，不知就是给别些说是能不上年我下的。 或者这个为谁的来乱整个灭亡论言做法，小面让人这边给上有给上的面公布晓得， Dona Tude Yonzo Chinda Je Mari Chagen Denla Nyebot Dendon Jowa Gwingen Gyabjen Bo Denzen Gyabze Wangbo Shabdes Sebo Sumge Jive Zono Ge Kange Shabe Chashi Kolol Gujin Dege Lega Deba Ye Chuge Gebo Chenbo Shabdes Lamin Dude Sashi Laye La Dodo Neben Doje Zege Dengen Dore Jari Jonze Ba Jize Hiro Gabe Shabdes Sada Lumbo Ninda Nege Ba Sanzo Jindo Gyuwa Meba Junzi Pazo Gebe Shemen Dan Doje Chila Junjin Danjus Shimi Lajo Sumye Chilanda Lama Yeda Sangye Chanze Demben Dobge Cheda Sewan Denge Mendro Jingye Labdo Ze Kante Rabe Gobe Shingam So Bendan Dewa Malu Jumben Chiri Siwan Dinjin Gyazoi Shabe Sidem Badon Dengyo Jin Gyewa Gyundo Yanda Lama Dan Jimich
May I, throughout my lifetimes, be never separated from the perfect Guru, his teaching.
Tamjen zobe chanju chenpo mela lobe gebe denpa kuwe najo sujin zomen de samjo ngebe juba malub shozun denpe zelin ze yoji.